welcome back to the Ennui Talk podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Winter. I just realised that I do that in the same cadence every single time, and I don't know why. It's very fucking odd if you ask me. I'm here with my co-host for today, Samuel Davis. How are we, man? What's up?
Yeah, not too bad.
Welcome to 2022, technically, even though we're recording this at the end of 2021.
Yeah, 2022. Hell yeah.
How was your New Year's?
It was good. It was good news. Yeah. Went to the city.
Yep.
It was nice.
That was good.
And yeah.
If we're gonna be real here, I actually don't know what I'm doing for my New Year's yet. Mostly because of this COVID's getting in the way of everything right now. I thought I might have had it. Thankfully, I do not. It would have been nice to have a few days off work because I'm such a hard worker. But I guess it is what it is. I actually don't think I'd like to have 10 days off, honestly. Okay, imagine 10 days off and you can't leave your house whatsoever.
Yeah, I've experienced that. That's pretty bad.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had it way worse than me, didn't you? For the longest time.
I don't know. We had 300 plus days in lockdown, so
could be worse.
It's pretty shit.
It is shit. I can fucking imagine. When you were a kid, did you always look forward to the holidays? Like, when you were a young teenager, did you actually do things in your holidays? Because I remember very specifically for me, one time crying because I was like, oh, I'm so bored, Mum. There's nothing to do. I've played all the video games. Like, I don't know. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to fucking record on OBS.
Oh, dear.
We'll keep recording, and I've pressed record on OBS right now.
Yeah, press record on OBS. Answer that question. I didn't hang out with friends in holidays when I was a lot younger. It was only when I was like 17, 18 where I really started like hanging out with my mates in my holidays. But even though I wasn't hanging out with friends, I hated school. I didn't see the point of it for me personally. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad I finished it, but I loved the holidays. I was just the greatest thing ever. Long weekends were like, it was just perfect because you get 2 nights where you're like, oh, no school the next day, and then Sundays. I just remember that horrible feeling of Sunday nights before school. I hated that. So especially in year 11 and 12, I just dreaded it. Dreaded going back to school those 5 more days.
I remember like during probably like year 9, year 10, maybe a bit of year 11. A lot of it was like, you'd have school, and on a Friday afternoon, we'd walk to my mate's place. We'd, go to Woolies, get some lollies and some soft drink. We'd go down to Civic Video. This is how old this was. Civic Video, wow. We'd have to get a scary movie, and then we'd have to get a comedy as well to even things out. You know what I mean? Make sure we don't go to sleep, very, very scared. Like I remember, what would we watch? We'd watch something like, I don't know, like Final Destination, and then people getting their heads banged off. And it'd be followed up with like, Harold and Kumar's Goes to White Castle. Get a little bit of laugh in you before you sleep. But I
got good memories of watching that with a friend when I was young as well. So
it's a good movie. I think they're very, very quality movies. Definitely some of the big ones from my childhood. But that's what I used to do a lot. And before that, it was usually like playing a lot of GTA, playing like a lot of GTA 4 with my mates. Getting all the cheat codes and stuff, and like trying to like ride the bicycle through there was a cheat, and it was like ride the bicycle like through the swing set, and if you do it the right way, it'll like fling you across the city. I don't know. I think it was a long time ago. I did not have a console with GTA. Only my mates did, so I'd go with my mates and.
No!
I was a loser. Yeah.
San Andreas was great times.
Oh god,
That's good fun. San Andreas is great. Back to what you were saying just briefly. I just realized I did hang out with mates. I hung out with the same mate every school holidays when I was like 13, 14, 15, 16. But I didn't hang out with any of my mates from school in the school holidays. It was this mate from the city who was like, through family marriage years ago, I knew him, and like he lived 2 doors down from his holiday house, and I just caught up with him. We went skateboarding everywhere and played tennis every day
Played
for the whole
tennis.
school holidays.
And played tennis. Nah, like
We were good tennis players.
see, for me, it was my man Stephen Reed. He's in a band actually. He plays in a
Big Steve
plays in a band called Postcards. Check him out, guys. That's the only promo you're ever getting, Steve. You piece of shit.
Like the TV show Postcards.
No, not like the TV show Postcards. You fucking dickhead. My Apple Watch just went off and said, "Take time to think about how you'll show up today." I don't like getting notifications on my Apple Watch telling me to be mindful. I'll be mindful when I want to be mindful, you know? That's exactly right.
This is why I don't wear watches. It's like, I don't want that shit on my wrist. Get away from me.
I remember when I was like 30, I think it was like, I was either 13 or 14 when I bought Tony Hawk Pro Skater. No, that's not right. Tony Hawk Underground 2, and it came with an exclusive watch. And I used to wear it all the time, and Dad's like, "Oh yeah, that's cool."
I remember that thing.
Do you?
Oh shit! I remember it came out with all sorts of shit when you bought the game. You had all these little accessories.
Yeah, it was so good.
Oh, you just fucking unlocked a part of my brain that has been just deeply there for a long time in the filing cabinet and hasn't been taken out in about 15, 20 years. That's nuts.
You're like 22 years old. How can it be 20 years?
It was bought when I was probably like 2 or 3. I just remember Break On Through to the Other Side, just that song by The Doors, just constantly playing in my house. And that game, man, that game's like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. I reckon I played that. God, still remember it even from that young.
Yeah, see, a lot of those games are like absolutely my childhood. I feel like I talked about this on like podcast years ago, but like that, like a lot of that stuff, like it was a lot of the Tony Hawk games. I played like a lot of like Crash Bandicoot and stuff like that as well when I was younger. I was really good at Crash Bandicoot too. God, a lot of memories there.
Do you remember a game called Chase Hollywood Stunt Driver?
No.
It was only on Xbox.
No.
Oh, it was so little known. It was this game where you had to complete missions in like Hollywood for film stunts, and it was pretty cool. It was the shit when I was a little kid. And there was that in Midtown Madness 3. Midtown Madness 3 is like God tier. I've talked about that on my podcast. We'll plug it. It's a classic game. It really is. It's you drive around in Paris and Washington DC, and there's a special cheat where if you go to the Lincoln Monument, you stand there for 3 seconds. Your car is at unlimited speed, so you can literally go through in a truck around Paris and Washington DC at about 500 kilometers an hour, and because you got the mass of a freaking fire truck, you just bowl over everything.
How good? Fuck, that's good.
For a game from 2004, it's actually amazing. So good.
There's one game I'm thinking of that I used to play on my Xbox all the time, and it was like a motocross game. It was some sort of, I can't remember exactly what it was now off the top of my head. But you'd ride motorbikes, and I'd always try and do. I'd spend like all night. It's like, Mum, I can't go to bed until I've done a backflip on this motorbike. Like, come on, just give me a second. Give me a second. It was that, and actually, now that I remember, there was one that I used to play all the time, and that was Simpsons Hit and Run. That was like all-time favorite.
Yes,
such a good
Stonecutters entrance. The Stonecutters entrance, the secret. When you found that, I remember when I found that for the first time, I was like, oh, and I drove through it, and I was a member of the Stonecutters. It's amazing.
How fucking good.
The Xbox One is so good. Oh, so funny.
See, I was the kid who. So I don't think if I told you this before. Everybody, like I had the PS1, and when everybody else got the PlayStation 2, I got the original Xbox, and then when everybody else when I got the PS2 to catch up with them, they got the Xbox 360. I'm like, okay, fuck me, we're just changing platforms again. And then it was like, after that, I was like, no, I'm not keeping up with this shit. But yeah, that was my childhood. That's why I couldn't play with anybody. It's like when everybody else is playing like COD on the PlayStation 2, I'm playing SSX Tricky, playing a snowboarding game. Can't even say the fucking name of the game.
Oh, it's
banger of a game though. Banger of a game. That's
funny.
There's
one more game from my childhood I just remembered. Spider-Man 3 on the Xbox 360.
I didn't go play Spider-Man.
It was pretty good. It was very fun. You literally It's essential. It's probably one of the better Spider-Man games. I don't know. It just felt really cool with the just literally just flying around New York City, and the way the controls actually worked really well, and the immersion in the game.
Interesting.
It's good. Good game.
I played there was one game before we move on from this game talk. I played a lot of Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase. That was my favorite game on the PlayStation 1.
Oh, they had the game?
Yeah.
I remember the movie very well.
The game was brilliant. Like trying to be Scooby-Doo. That's all I really remember from it off the top of my head, in all honesty. But I was being Scooby-Doo going through. This is me playing video games. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, subscribe to the channel. This is me attempting to play video games very well. Did you notice that I'm wearing it's a Dungeons and D's shirt?
Nerd.
Dungeon and
nerd.
It says Dungeon and D's, like D's nuts, and it says Joe Swanson in the middle.
That fucking sucks.
It's a good
Is
shirt.
that literally a cool shirt?
No, this is a Many Kudos shirt from the Many Kudos shirt store. Thank you to
many kudos. Your merch is shit house.
It's not shit house. It's very, very good. Emmanuel, kudos. Thank you for letting me buy a shirt from your store. I appreciate it very much. And that's all he gets.
He needs feedback. He needs constructive criticism and just blatant bagging.
Say constructive criticism is not, hey, that shirt's shit, cunt.
No, that's why I said and blatant, just disrespect.
That is disrespectful, Samuel, without a doubt. But that's what you're known for on the podcast. Actually, people have actually said, hey, I don't like Sam. He's a bit of a shit cunt. No one said that yet. Okay, I've got a question. Yeah. Is it weird? Okay, so I live away from my hometown, which is Scone, about 2 hours away. And every time I go, I plan to go home, as in every 4-ish weeks, I'll go home. And the one thing that takes me there is a haircut. So I'll book a haircut like every 4 or 5 weeks so I can go home. The girl who cuts my hair is actually Ben's partner. She's a hairdresser, a very fucking good one at that. Is that weird that I book in a haircut and at the same time it gives me a chance to go home and catch up with family and friends? Is that weird?
I think it's just a routine, isn't it?
That's what I think.
It's fascinating.
Is it fascinating?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very, very avant-garde, that sort of routine, to drive all that way for a haircut.
But I'm not one of those people who go like, oh, I need to go into the city to get my hair cut twice. Do you know people in the cities, there's some people, girls, males and females, that go and get their hair cut twice a week?
Day. Oh my God. Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either, considering I've had long hair for a while and I haven't been to a hairdresser since 2012.
Who cuts your hair? Mummy? Mummy Davis?
Yeah, Daddy.
Daddy Davis?
No, Daddy Davis.
Daddy Davis cuts your hair.
He's a good hairdresser. He's actually decent. Not a registered one, but he's good. And my brother's cut my hair. My brother stopped cutting my hair after he Van Gogh style cut part of my ear off. And I don't know if you can see why it doesn't go straight there. It's already still crooked, but it curves inward right about there. And that is a part of my ear literally cut off by my brother when he was trying to cut hair.
That's not good.
I remember I was like, ow. And then I looked at the ground and my ear just started bleeding profusely. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck did you just do?
Jesus Christ. I've had bad experience with haircuts. Like at one point there was my normal hairdresser. This is when I was like, my normal hairdresser when I'm 14 or 15. She couldn't cut my hair. So I went to the place where my grandma gets her hair cut. Red flag right there. And then she fucked up my fringe and it took like 6 months for it to like grow back properly.
Oh, what?
I know. I should have just, I don't know. If I've learned anything from this experience, it's don't go and get a haircut where your grandma gets a haircut.
That's so fun. I don't think my dad's ever fucked up my hair before.
Really?
No.
Because it looks...
Not in a way where it's like 6 months.
See, it looks pretty fucked up right now. Or is that just your normal haircut? I'm not actually sure.
It's actually a mullet. Right. I don't really want to show it though. So I'm getting it fixed probably today or tomorrow actually.
Good, because if you're going to be a part of this channel, it needs to be fixed up, mate.
Mate,
Yes.
I think freedom of expression is also a part of this channel.
Having a shit haircut is not freedom of expression, mate.
I think it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
All right, buddy?
Yeah, capital fucking.
It's fine.
Capital fucking F for fine.
I'm not going to follow the status quo. Fuck following what everyone. Actually, mullets are pretty fucking in.
I know. Actually, it's weird. I've had girls and they'll go, you know what? He could be like not that good looking, but if he has a mullet, oh, I would sleep with him. And I'm like, why? I don't understand it. If I tried to get a mullet, all the girls would be more disgusted in me, I think, personally.
I don't know. I didn't think it worked on me at all. I think it works on certain people. Oh, no, it actually doesn't work on anyone, come to think of it. I think it's a disgust. I think it's something you have like for a little while when you're young and then never speak of it or talk about it ever again because it's the most yuck looking hairstyle ever.
I have seen worse.
I've seen worse.
I don't know. I think everybody has haircuts that suit them. Some people can pull off mullets. Many others cannot. It's like, you know, some people can pull off specific type of tattoos as well, but some people can't pull off tattoos like at all. Like I can barely pull off this little tattoo. I'm actually thinking about getting it. It was done very shit. I don't think I've ever shown you this. It's like an arrow it's an arrow and a paperclip and a chain. It's to do with my grandma and all this other stuff, but I don't like it because they did a shit job with the white ink. So I said to Mum, I'm going to get it covered up with a swastika. And she said, yeah, that's all right. And I said, either that or your picture of your face. And she says, no, don't do that. And I said, so you would rather me get a swastika on my arm than your face? And she hesitated, but she said yes. So on the next podcast that we record, I'll probably have a swastika on my arm. Thoughts?
Anyway, don't do that for starters.
Why not?
Secondary, I hate tattoos so much that you'd have to pay me $100,000 to get a tattoo under each armpit, and that's the only spot I'd ever put a tattoo.
Really? Why?
Because I just don't like tattoos. I detest I just don't like them. It's my personal preference. I don't know why so many people get them these days. I've noticed like in the past like 5 to 6 years, it's like doubled the amount of people that have tats. Like it's just terrible.
I think they look good on certain people.
I respect people that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they look good on anyone personally, but I don't really. I'm not going to tell people like you look yuck with a tattoo. Like that's just rude. But my personal preference, no.
If a girl had like a little tattoo on her ankle, would you not marry her?
Probably, yeah, dude. I'm literally. That's how much I hate tattoos. I have to look at that shit my whole life. Fuck that. Dude, it's just no. I don't. It's that's
tattooist. That's tattooist. I can't believe you're saying this. This has opened up a fucking rabbit hole.
Get fucked, bro.
Have you ever had this argument with somebody before about tattoos?
Yesterday, I had this argument. Yeah, last night, literally about 14 hours ago. I just don't like them. It's just not my thing. It wasn't really an argument. It was like a brief discussion. And it was with someone who likes an argument. So I was surprised that he didn't really continue it. He has a bunch of tattoos as well. He has one. He literally forced, and you can't force someone to get a tattoo, but he got a tattoo of cheese behind his ear.
That's dumb.
Stupidest tattoo I've ever seen. And his mate, he said, oh, we'll get matching tattoos. You get a tattoo too. And his mate's last name is Diamantopoulos. So he got a diamond behind his ear. And his sister got the diamond behind the other ear.
That's not a real name.
Diamantopoulos, very Greek. The most Greek name I've ever heard of in my entire life.
Sounds fake. Interesting. Okay, great.
Acropolis? Diamantopoulos? It's like, Acropolis, Greek metropolis.
Yeah, that was dog shit. That was absolutely horrible. One thing this is something that I wanted to ask both you and Ben coming into our 2022 episodes. Technically,
yes,
we're recording at the end of 2021, whatever.
Yes.
2022. What are your personal goals for this coming year?
Man, there's too many.
Because I don't like saying New Year's resolution because I feel like it's. I don't like that.
I've never wanted to improve like my general life more before New Year than this one, I reckon.
Really?
I mean, pretty obvious ones. Most people, anyone who's single, obviously want a steady relationship. Who doesn't want that to stay New Year's resolution? I think a lot of people don't really want to just be like openly say, I want a girlfriend. But like, I think it's something everyone's obviously after. Like, you don't want to just sit there in a fucking room forever. What's another one? Career-wise, I want to get an editing job, working for someone else, and continue doing my YouTube channel, and maybe get a part-time job. See, the thing is, I don't know if I am just the laziest dickhead in the world, or if I'm just, the laziest dickhead in the world. But I can't work like a full-time or part-time job. I don't know what it is. Like working for someone who isn't like family. I still work like 3 or 4 days a week normally. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, 3 or 4 might be a stretch. Some weeks 2. But yeah. Anyway.
But I get that.
See how we go.
I was in that sort of position in terms of I knew what I wanted, and not that I felt that I was too good to like work more than casual or part-time at McDonald's.
Yeah.
But the one thing I figured was, well, first of all, money's good. Money is good.
Yeah.
But the other thing was, I think creating sort of not even just a schedule. I think it was just like, I am capable of so much more than I think I am. Like, I don't have to work 4 days a week. Okay, here's a good example. Or the way I saw it. From when I was working like casual or low level of part-time, 20 hours a week. So like working 5 days or working like 4 hours, 5 hours. Yeah. I do more work now working full-time than I did back then. I honestly think.
Damn.
Like, you think you're working. So you know how it's like you're sitting there at the computer and it's like, oh, I'm just researching for a video, but like you're spending 6 hours like watching YouTube videos and not really being productive. Like, that's one thing I realized. I wasn't really productive. I was busy. And that's one thing that I've realized is not actually good, just sitting there thinking you're busy. Like, realistically now, I do like 60, 90-minute timers and then I reassess what the fuck I'm doing. Maybe that's my ADHD. Yeah. I shouldn't say that. My possibly ADHD riddled brain. But it's like, if I just don't do that, I will end up just sitting there thinking I'm researching. I did it fucking yesterday without realizing. I thought I was sitting there researching for the new video that I'm trying to put together. And I got to like, what time? Well, I probably started at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And I got to like 4, 5. And I'm like, I really haven't done that much today. So yeah, I think it's just like, you really can, if you like self-contain like what you're trying to do, and like monitor what you're actually doing, you can get a lot more out of your life. I think if you set those boundaries. It's like with the YouTubers who don't set their boundaries and they just like say, hey, I'm going to put out content, but you don't like set yourself a deadline. That's what happens. It's never going to be perfect. You're never going to have the best idea, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta fucking do it. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's tough when you don't really want to make a video, but at the same time, if it's been like a month or 2, just bloody make a video type thing, I don't know. Tricky situation. Or maybe I'm just lazy.
I don't think you're lazy because you obviously work hard when you do your videos, when you're putting together, I think that you're so focused on, I want to be an editor and I want to make YouTube videos. That's like anything else just disinterests you. And trust me, I'm the exact same.
That's pretty accurate. That's very accurate.
I know, Dr. Phil right here. I think that's the thing. I think that if you got a part-time job and you kept doing what you're doing now, you kept making videos, you kept doing some things for me, you would realize, for one, how much time you have in your hands. You'd realize, 2, how productive you are. And 3, you'll realize that you can balance a job, even if it is part-time. You can balance a job and trying to get this YouTube channel off the ground and just your general life as well. The one thing that I had big problems with was balancing life. Like, I was really like, oh, I need to sit down and record this video and blah, 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 and do this podcast, and probably overdid it. and then neglected like friendships. I was the ennui guy for a while, and I don't like that. Like, I'm so much more than just like the guy who makes videos. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's you need to have a life at the same time.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Totally agree.
Mm.
I hated being known as it's Sam's Movies, that YouTube guy. It's like, okay, that I make videos, but I also do a fuck ton of other shit like that, and that's like a small portion of my life. I obviously want to be a success at that as well, but it doesn't define you, type thing. You know what I mean? I think that's what you were
Exactly right
saying just then. It's not something that just defines you as a person. It's just something you do because you really want to. You're interested in media and you really want a media career, and you want to work hard towards a goal, type thing.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing. I think that you know what, I think that could be a goal for you. It's just that work-life balance. And I would say that your YouTube
100%.
channel is in a way work. Like, I count it as work. I separate my work, ennui, and my life. Like, and that is a very, very hard balance. But I've been able to do it. It's not perfect. I've got a few goals that I want to get to, which I'll discuss in a moment after we get through yours. But I think it's like,
so good.
It's hard.
I'm pretty much
it's always going to be changing. That's one thing. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the process, figuring it out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Something like, and I think that sort of goes in hand with, like, you can't compare yourself to others. Like, I remember like looking at like other creators and other people who I went to school with, and it's like they're doing all these things and graduated university and all this other stuff, and that's not my path. You got to realize that at the same time.
It's so funny that you always bring up the point for what I was thinking of saying that like ties into it perfectly. Because I was just thinking, I've got a mate who I play tennis with. He's like 2 years younger than me. He's got a girlfriend he's had for like years. He studies law degree. He's got a job he works at every single day, part-time. And I have none of those things. And I'm 2 years older than him. And I was thinking about that like profusely for a while, just like, geez, I actually am like pathetic compared to most people. And then I kind of had to realize that status quo sort of at a young age thing wasn't me. Like, I want to do that. I realized that I'll literally be doing that for the rest of my life eventually. Why would I want to do that when I'm 22 and I'm still young and there's like so much awesome shit I could be doing instead of living the life of a 40-year-old when I'm 20, or 22, you know what I mean? But no offense to people who do that. Sorry. No offense to anyone who decides that. I feel like I just shat on. But my personal preference, I want to actually go out there and live. You know what I mean?
And that's okay. Do you know what I mean? Like,
a bit hippie, but yeah.
But that's okay. I think, like, you have your own goals. I think the biggest thing the question that you always should ask yourself is, does this make me happy? And because I think people sacrifice their happiness just to fit the status quo, to make people in their lives happy, but not themselves happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my parents never pushed any of it on me. Like, my dad always said, like, oh, like, would you go to TAFE and do film and stuff like that, and blah, 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 or go to uni to do this and this? And I said, like, maybe, but I don't think I will. Like, I think there's a different path for me, but he always supported me. Yeah. 100%. He, both of them did. My parents.
Yeah.
I think it's just, you just need it better than you were before. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and what makes you happy? Like, I think the hardest thing is figuring out actually exactly what you want to do, but it never works out the way you want to, like ever. But I think that's the thing. I think if you have those certain goals and it's like, you work endlessly to get there, it's all about faith. If you have faith in yourself, you will achieve those goals. You really will. That's my inspirational.
To the point. That's on point.
That's my inspirational talk for the day.
That was a good one.
It was a good one, actually. The faith things from this book I'm reading called, it's actually an audiobook I'm listening to, called Think and Grow Rich. And like one of the big points is like, if you imagine yourself doing I think it's like if you have faith in yourself and then you think about this one goal that you want, or the place that where you want to be in 5 years, and you sort of like immerse yourself in that, every action that you make will lead towards that goal. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
every decision, every action, every conversation, et cetera, you'll get there. And it's not like it's, you know, and you've got to watch yourself from becoming, like, as I said, you don't want to be that Sam's Movies guy or that Ennui guy.
100%. Yeah.
I don't know, because I've discussed it before on the podcast, because that sort of goes with that sort of hustle culture that Gary Vee introduced to me specifically, where it was like, you can't go do anything else. You need to hustle. Like, you know, my dad was working 7 days a week at the wine shop and all this other shit. And it's like, got to live your life at the same time. I prefer just like, you know, not doing the minimum effort, but it's like, I don't know, you don't need to be working 80 hours a week to become a success. You really don't. Like, I like the fact that in like the past 5 years, like more like side hustles, quote unquote, like not spending 40 hours a week, but it's like, 10, 20 hours a week. And you can start a side hustle that can turn into a full-time living, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you can take examples from that and put in your own work. Like, for example, if you wanted to be an editor, like, obviously you wouldn't have to be an editor. Like, realistically, Sam, you could be a freelance editor for a bunch of different creators, et cetera, et cetera.
I want to do.
And it's like, my fucking Apple Watch just went off. But like, you could just, you know, it could be as simple as, you know, spending 10, 15, 20 hours a week or whatever, going, okay, during this time, I'm going to set some goals for getting to this point so I can, in a year's time, not be a shit cunt and, you know, like, and be doing the thing that you want to do.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Then you could turn that into your full-time living, whether it's like,
100%.
you know, most of that time could be spent editing. A lot of that time could be spent networking and, you know, all that sort of stuff. You already know how to edit. That's a given. It could be me that ends up hiring you. But the first thing is, I need to get to the point where I can actually support myself full time. But that's the thing. I think like if you don't have to be working 40 hours a week or be working to 3 o'clock in the morning to achieve your dreams. I really do not like that.
Oh, shit.
You fucking retard.
Let's keep going.
There's so many, I don't know, because I never had a clear...
Oh, dear.
That's one thing I like about this podcast, because I know like there are a bunch of younger people who listen to it. It's like, hey, here's my advice. If you don't want to go to university to do this and this and this, like, here is sort of not a very clear way, because everybody's way is different. But I could give back, you know what? That's an idea. I could give coaching to young people and say, hey, look, my channel might be fucking dog shit, but maybe you can do it better than I could. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do online to make a living. There's a lot of, you know, non-traditional ways to make a living, blah, blah, blah. Just to, you know, to achieve your dreams, blah, blah, blah. Like I've been researching a lot lately of like, because I want to start getting into making music. That's one of my goals for 2022. And like some of it, like, okay, how to make the music, but also how there's like so many channels doing videos like how I got 4 million streams in 1 year on Spotify, and like how to get into playlists and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Because I like the marketing side as well. You can make a living doing anything these days. That's the thing. I feel like I'm just rambling on with this whole topic. But I think that's, I don't know, there's I want to give hope to the kids that you don't have to work a dead-end job or work at McDonald's for the rest of your life.
Hope to the kids. Oh, come on.
No. I tell people that McDonald's is a solid living, and it is. I'm earning decent money, but it is not
honorable.
It doesn't fulfill me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it wouldn't fulfill many people, I could imagine.
Probably not. But then, okay, actually, here's one thing. My stepdad works in the mines, and his whole thing is he works to play. As in, like, he's got to the point now where he's working only casual now, but because he's got 3 investment properties, et cetera, et cetera. And he just works when he wants to. He could take like a week off and go down to the coast where his property is and start building on that, keep building, blah, blah, blah. But he's never worked. He's good at his job and he likes his job, but he works to play. And I think that's like a lot of what everybody is like. I don't know. Like, I don't think people, I think
work hard and play hard, rest hard.
No, that's right. Rest hard. Yeah, exactly. I'm always got an erection when I'm resting. I don't know. I think it's like,
Jesus
for me personally, I just
Christ.
want to be happy and be fulfilled doing what I
How did
do.
it come to that?
I don't know how it came to that.
Oh.
Just got to be fulfilled doing what you want to do. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
I have the exact mindset. Don't worry about that.
Hopefully we can get to the point where I can hire you and we can just make some cool things and all that, and you know, we'll make the oh fuck, what's his name? We'll make the Bob Ross video that you wanted. We'll call out cold ones and say, hey, piece of shit, we did it first and we did it second. Third.
Well, inebriated individuals did it first.
Has anybody heard of that channel? I don't think anybody has. That was mean. That was really mean when I think of it, when I say it like that.
I mean, it was my idea, but that's about where it ends. I have nothing really to do with the creative process of that channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh no, I created it, the channel itself, but I don't come up with. I don't do anything else. It's an initiative of my TAFE mates, pretty much there, and they've never really worked. They've never really ran a YouTube channel before, so it's all really new to them. So it is a process. That's one that's it's a long process, but we'll get there. We'll get there one day. They'll get there.
100%.
I'm in it though. I'm in all the videos, so look out for me.
So for my goals, 2022, there's a few. Like
Yes,
I
sorry.
know it's not all about you, Sam, you piece of shit. I want to be able to go to the gym like just like 4 days a week. I want to be able to like look good, feel good, blah blah blah. Build some strength, all that sort of that cool stuff. I really want to make at least one single this year with a music video and put it out, whether that be comedy or whether that be sort of serious. And I feel
serious.
You think serious?
Serious.
You think serious?
Yes.
What if it was a mix of both?
No.
You don't think?
Oh no, you can make one comedy, make one serious. Don't make a mix.
You don't think?
Because serious is literally my favorite genre of music to listen to by far. It's like the most meaningful shit that I literally play on repeat over and over and over. And I think to succeed and be to be a remembered artist, making serious songs is like, it's the shit. But then again, some of my favorite songs mix seriousness and comedy. It's just a very tough blend to mix. You can try. I mean, it's worth trying.
I feel like, I don't know, I've got ideas for both. Like I've got, some serious like sort of like the style wise, at least I would like to go for and all that sort of stuff. But I got some really good comedy ideas as well, like that I'd like to do in sort of like a hip hoppy / hyper poppy sort of way. I don't know. I've just got to figure that out. Why are you laughing like that?
I'm just thinking of burger rap.
Moving on, because I've always had this idea, and I've sort of half written the song in a way, and it's called and it would be the original idea was like a lo-fi sort of beat, and it was called Sexually and then bracket in and then bracket experienced. So it's called Sexually and Experienced. And it's me rapping about how I definitely have lots of sex and I'm really good at it, and girls love it with me.
No.
But I don't know. I'm sort of figuring it out.
Bruh.
It's something will come out this year. I've got a few good ideas. I now with this setup right now, realistically, I came home from work and we've recorded straight away. So I just want to get into that routine. I'll record with Ben next week and maybe Kaz, and it's I can get ahead and I can get into I want to do 2 guests a month. And get there. We've got some planned, which I won't reveal. Because
reveal to me after the recording, because I will.
I'll tell you. Because I don't want to reveal to everybody because I feel like some of them might not come for a while. We'll see how we go. It's hard.
Yeah. What if they cancel and you've promised?
Exactly.
Empty promises.
I don't promise anything. And
I do.
Obviously for Ennui, it's get out the Ennui Coffee Club every 2 weeks. Blah blah blah. Me and Ben are recording some of that in a few weeks, sort of thing. And then I want to be able to get those are easy to record, and it's that's just scheduling wise. They're not hard videos to do. I'll chuck them to Casper or maybe you if you want to edit them, put them together. And then the other thing is, I'm working on this the main series, I guess you want to call it. It's just this big video every month-ish. Me being me, just sort of documentary-ish, YouTube vloggy. Hamish and Andy ish, I guess, in a way. Like it's just that like, hey, let's get a camera and film, and here's the concept. There's so many people do the same thing, but it's like we've got this our own sort of style. I've been watching like a lot of British. There's a few British YouTubers who do sort of things in a similar sort of style. Like there's this guy I was watching the other day, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Please don't ask me. But he did a video where it was becoming the first YouTuber to own a roundabout. He was ringing up his local councils, like, oh, like you got any roundabouts for sale, blah blah blah. Because he's like, well, if I'm going to flex, I've got to flex the cheapest way possible. So he bought it was technically a roundabout, but it was more like a triangle of grass and it had a sign on it. And he bought it, and he like got a guy to, cut the ribbon and go, yeah, you're officially your roundabout, blah, blah. And it was outside the house of this famous British comedian as well that he didn't realize lived there. And it's like an 8-minute video, and it's like there's a bit in it, but it's not like so extravagant that I couldn't do. I guess that's the best way to say it. It's like, I don't know. It's
a doable video. It's not like ridiculous.
No, exactly.
Money spent.
And I just want to be able to do that really regularly and just be able to cram it out and blah, blah, blah. We've figured out, I figured out the team is me. The team and I have figured out, we're launching a clothing brand this year. Definitely. I've been wanting to make it happen. And we've talked behind the scenes about that. I want that to sort of supplement the income. So it's like, okay, the podcast might not be bringing income straight away, but we're selling all this merch, et cetera, et cetera. And it'll be a mix of like serious, like actual clothing, like streetwear that I want to sell. And there'll probably be a t-shirt with my face on it, if that interests you. And I think it will. I think there's people at work have actually said
I would be buying that one.
You won't be buying that one. Why not?
I don't want to wear that.
Why not? Why wouldn't you do that? I think it'd be really good.
I'll buy you other stuff though.
Okay, good. You might even get a free one because you're part of the team, Sam. Come on, man.
Fucking team.
But you got to edit. You haven't edited any videos yet, so therefore Kaz is way above you.
Kaz.
He is. He's way above you in the rankings.
What has that guy ever done? Supported my videos.
He edited a bunch of the videos that you love and adore. But the best editor is always me, and it always will be me.
Oh yeah. Yes. Do you want to edit one of my videos?
No, cunt.
You know how many hours that would take?
There was something else. Do you have any videos that you need edited?
Oh, nothing's been recorded. But if I got you to edit my one of my upcoming ones, it's gonna probably take me about 50 hours to edit it.
Jesus Christ!
It's gonna take a whole month. Yeah, it's like a 40-minute documentary about someone's life. I don't want to reveal it because I don't know when it's coming out. Is it my life? But yeah, no.
Will you do the voiceover for The Life and Times of Matthew Winter?
In the year 1990 something.
6.
A man was born. 1996.
Right, May 18th.
Matthew Winter was born. Yep. The end.
Doesn't sound like a good documentary to me. Did you know that we actually filmed part of a documentary that we were going to put together, me and Casper?
Really?
Yeah, we did a whole
What happened to it?
We did a whole 50-minute interview with me telling the story.
Jesus,
and now I want to do it again and redo it and start again. We've recorded twice now.
Why are we starting again?
Because every time I do it, I feel like it's not everything just changes dramatically. We'll get there. Maybe in a year from now, it'd be we're actually a success now. Highly unlikely though.
What's that? What's There was a Filthy Frank lyric. This is not related to what you just said. I'm not shitting on you. What is the lyric from his song? It's I'm not a vlog cunt trying to write an autobiography about my dick. And it's referring to all those massive YouTubers who write autobiographies when they're 20.
And they've got nothing to say.
They've got nothing to say because nothing's ever happened to them. And I feel that you just said everything keeps changing. That's the hardest thing when you try and do something about yourself and then you watch it a year later. I've done that with a podcast. I haven't edited it for ages, and I watch it. Oh no, I edited it ages ago. Watched it a year later, and in the podcast, I'm like talking about shit that I was interested in, like a year ago, like clubbing and stuff like that. And I've got like blonde highlights all through my hair, and I just look at it and vomit, like. And I like thinking of watching that even like weeks ago made me think about that lyric from Filthy Frank, like, I'm not a punk, I'm trying to write a biography about my dick, because that's literally everything ages so quickly when you're young, because everything's constantly changing. That I feel like I just backhanded shat on your idea for your documentary.
You're fucking right, though. Why am I doing a documentary this early? It'd be different if it was like a vloggy sort of like, oh, this is what's happening. This is what's happening, blah, blah. But I think like to do an actual like documentary right now, I think it needs to be like maybe like 5 years from now, I'll do like, oh, here's what happened.
Oh, fuck. I talked you out of it by accident.
No,
Sorry.
But it's like, I think there's a better idea to do it. I'm thinking like in 5 years, maybe we could do like a documentary about Marty's internet show about like, this is the first like real production, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know that, and it would be more like fan service than anything. A bigger scale Ennui one would have much more of a mass appeal, but talking like a lot about Marty's internet show and like interviewing guys from the show, blah, blah, blah. I think it's a whole different beast. That's exactly what it is. Do I have any other goals this year? I think it's just like be healthy, be happy, all that sort of fucking bullshit. I really want to make this my living by the end of the year. I think I can actually do it now. You know, now that I don't have any toxic women in my life, that's going to come back to bite me. But we're going to do it.
Cut.
Nah, fuck it. We'll keep it in. I regret nothing in this podcast.
Oh, a bit of a Simpsons joke. I regret nothing.
You please don't quote shows on my podcast. We make original content.
You have to speak up. I am wearing a towel.
I hate that joke. I love it.
That's my favorite.
It's a good line. Please don't.
When you read that out, the ask on me, I just can't breathe. It's so funny.
You think you're so funny, and I think I might replace. And you know, my other goal is to actually replace you. We need a new co-host. You know what? I might bring back Brad. I might bring back Chris. I don't know. You know, because we can't have Miles on the podcast.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
You're creeping out the fans. I think we're like 40 minutes in, aren't we? Like 45, something like that?
We are. There was one thing I forgot to say before that I will just briefly say, and it's a musical inspiration for the fans. I've probably heard it's a very well-known song. And for you, there's actually two. There's one that there's very little known for musical inspiration, and there's another song that's very well-known. Have you heard the song Radiohead, No Surprises?
No. Surprises? No, I haven't.
That's a very well-known song. That is one I'd listen to because I just binged it for weeks. It's a very, very relevant song to me personally. And there's another one called Hero and Me by Jeff Gaines. That one has like 3,000 Spotify listeners, and it should have about 300 million. One of the best songs ever made.
Interesting.
I wouldn't go that far, but it's a very, very good song. And listen to those for inspiration to the fans and to Mr. Matthew Winter. Because they're if you want to start a music career, or if you just want to listen to a song that's like that really hits you, those two are guaranteed to hit most people because the lyrics very relevant to probably a lot of people. But anyway,
if you're not interested in that, Peppa Pig came out with an album last year.
You better be interested in that.
Anthony Fantano gave it an 8 out of 10. It got better than Drake's album. CLB.
Boy.
So if you want to listen to the Peppa Pig album, that might inspire you to...
The Peppa Pig album, bruh.
It's pretty good.
Bruh.
It's pretty good. It's spot on. Thank you for listening to Ennui Talk. I'm your host, Matthew Winter.
Titanic music from the motion picture. Yep.
You're a piece of shit. You're Sam Davis. I'm Matthew Winter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've actually got some videos coming out on the main channel maybe by now. I can't remember. We're going to be a full-fledged thing now. Sorry about last year. COVID happened. And I was in a bad relationship. And I could bring up many other things, or we won't. We're just going to... Thanks for listening to the Ennui Talk podcast.
Play us out with the Titanic recorder. See you guys.
Sounds like a Down syndrome person farting.